It is your favorite fitness and movie nerd, Al King, back on that again with another banger for y'alls. Out here today there, y'all. Welcome on back to the channel this morning. We got a good one for y'alls out here today. And y'all, I saw Thunderbolts last night. Had a blast watching that film. But I gotta share my thoughts on it. And by the way, guys, it will be spoilers. I repeat, it will be spoilers. Oh, and real quick, this is one bittersweet moment about watching the Thunderbolts. So I went to this new theater, right? After leaving the gym, your boy is looking ripped. Not the most ripped I've been, but I ain't gonna lie, feel amazing. But, so I went out here to this new theater, mainly for this popcorn right here. I ain't gonna lie, guys. Like, I know looking at it, it looks like a stoner created this thing. But I promise you guys, it is so good. Like, speaking of that, I kind of wish I would have hit something and then go watch it. But and eating that that would have been so much better. But anyway, guys, that popcorn, that was the reason why I went, because my coworker at my job, he had brought that popcorn. I was like, hey man, this is good. Where you got this from? He was like, oh, it's at that theater over there on the northeast. I was like, okay, I've never been over there. I'm gonna go watch Thunderbolts over there. This is where it comes in, where I say it was bittersweet. So the popcorn was busting, but the audio in the theater was not all that. It's not loud like I'm used to, and it was kind of toned down. So that's something I didn't like. Lesson learned: if I go there again, get the better, higher quality sound in the theater. But yeah, it makes a big difference for sure. But anyway, with that out the way, so yesterday I saw Thunderbolts, and the first thing I gotta say, it was mid as fuck. Like, guys, like, these motherfuckers on the internet, all these YouTubers had, like, I already knew this film was gonna be pretty good. I thought it was actually gonna be better than I expected, but it actually didn't. It was actually kind of worse than what I expected. Like, I thought it was gonna be better, but nah. I mean, like, it wasn't a bad film, but it was mid to me, and I'm gonna tell you why it was mid. And these motherfuckers out here on YouTube, these YouTubers, hyping this shit up. I mean, overhyping like a motherfucker. I mean, I'm up here going in thinking this shit finna be like raw, man, outstanding. Hell no. But I was watching this film. I will give this film this. As a Marvel film, it was very mid. But as a film outside of when you take away the Marvel element, it was actually a solid film and actually very relatable. And I give this film a 6.5 out of 10. Slightly higher than Captain America Brave New World. If you want more action and better fight scenes, Captain America Brave New World definitely had more of that. But Thunderbolts, it was definitely a more practical film, and it really dove in more on a deeper level with all the characters rather than your typical Marvel stuff. I will give it that. It was definitely a more darker and more serious tone type of film, but I definitely enjoyed it. Now, here are some things I didn't like. I hated the fact that they knocked off Taskmaster right at the beginning of the freaking film. Like, how do you, okay, so this is Marvel's logic. We're gonna hype this shit up. We're gonna give you guys a solid team right here. And yeah, this is what the movie gonna be based off of. Like, why even throw Taskmaster on the front of your cover? Like, on the poster. Why even throw him on there? I mean, her on there, I should say. Why even throw her on there? If you're just gonna knock her off, literally the first 10 minutes of the movie? Had to been. And I'm just sitting back like, ain't no way they knocked her off that quick. Nah. Maybe they're gonna have a twist. Nope, they knocked her off. And they did it so messed up too. I was just like, but I will give it credit for that, because like, it showed that there's actually stakes in this film, which I did like. But they ain't had to knock off Taskmaster that quick. Now I get it that this Taskmaster, I think Marvel knows that, this isn't everybody. Like, this isn't the Taskmaster that everybody wanted. But why go through all that hard work to give us a cool design of Taskmaster and not do anything with the character? Like, yeah, let's off Taskmaster right at the beginning. And then the post-credit scenes, Oh my goodness, this is what YouTubers really hype this shit up. I'm thinking post-credit scenes is finna go savage. I'm thinking maybe a character like Blue Marvel might pull up or something like that to be a contender against Century. Like, nah. I'm not even gonna spoil the post credits. You guys can watch that for yourself. But the first one, bullshit, garbage, and then the second one, yeah, it was all right. I mean, I'm not a big Fantastic Four person. But that's really what the second one is. But I'm not gonna spoil the first one just because how garbage it is. But the second one, I mean, it's just letting you know that yeah, the Fantastic Four is coming, and yeah, Thunderbolts may unite with them, So yeah, but going back to Taskmaster, man, yeah, I did not like that, that they did her like that right at the beginning. And then they were so disrespectful with it. I feel bad for any Taskmaster fans out there. I know y'all big boy salty right now because not only did they knock her off, but they looted her too. So like they was getting her weapons and stuff. And oh man, it was a messed up scene, like when you guys watch it. And also I've been hearing another thing on the internet. Everybody saying that, oh, Sam Wilson should have pulled up. Fuck no. I'm looking around, I'm just like why do y'all want Sam Wilson to pull up in this film? He already calmed down the Red Hawk. Like, I mean, and people say, oh, well, that's his superpower. That don't mean he need to pull up and do the same thing every movie. Like, let a few other people shine. But yeah, so yeah, like I didn't understand that. Maybe have like, I mean, I guess you can argue. I guess you can argue the ending. Maybe he could have pulled up because with the whole new Avengers now, and I'm gonna get to Valentina in a little bit. She was probably the most savage one in this movie, but I'm gonna get to her in a little bit. But then you got the new Avengers formed. I guess yeah, he could have pulled up at the end at a post-credit scene, but he wasn't needed in this film, in my opinion. But you know who was needed in this film? I might even do a separate video on this. We needed Deadpool. Deadpool should have been in this film. If Deadpool was in the Thunderbolts, like I know people would have been like, oh, well, it doesn't make sense. Listen, this motherfucker jumped from timeline and all that stuff. He bouncing around all over the place. So you can throw in some Deadpool in this type of film. It would have been a perfect film because it's going into trauma. It's going into like voids and stuff, like when it comes down to Century, Bob going into his mind. And yeah, like that was a different level of exploration that Marvel has never done, and I will give it credit for that. That's what made the film stand out a lot. But I feel like this film would have been so much better if it had Deadpool. And yes, it would have worked. Even being PG-13, it would have still worked. You can definitely pull it off. In fact, I would argue you can still make Deadpool funny, in this film, easily, but still have a more serious tone as well. I think it would have been great. And honestly, I think Century and Deadpool probably would have been the best of friends, honestly, like by the end of that movie. But yeah, that's one character that should have been in this film. But I understand why, because, well, get Ryan Reynolds coming back, it'll be a lot of money. It'll be a lot of money. And I guess they wasn't finna go in with the budget unsure about this film. You got people already saying, this ain't gonna be great. But I have faith in this film from the start. And honestly, this film could still break $1 billion. I said that a long time ago before this film even came out. And if I'm right, oh man, y'all better give me my flowers now, because hey, when I call something, I'm usually on point with it. But yeah, so Thunderbolts. Oh yeah, I gotta get into Valentina. I'm gonna get to our boy Century too, but Valentina was the most savage out of this entire film. This woman, I'll probably say the funniest part when she was talking to her assistant, which I don't know how the hell her assistant survived this film after betraying her, but she was chatting with her assistant about to go talk to Bob, and she was like, does this look nurturing enough? I'm like, dang man, the manipulation tactics is crazy with her. And then by the end, it's like, you're thinking they finna go expose her. The Thunderbolts, Yelena and everybody finna go expose her, but they chase her and they wound up on TV. Valentina's like, hey, this is the new Avengers. And low key, this film kind of felt like it had like a hint of like watching The Boys in a way. It kind of felt like that. I ain't even gonna lie. Like going to Bob, man, the Century, man, he killed it. This is honestly the biggest drawback to this film. Like we didn't get more of Century. Like he was the highlight of this film. You know, one of the highlights between him. Who else? Yeah, he was the highlight. Valentina and Yelena. Those three was the highlight of this film. Yeah, Yelena, she went savage too. She more killed it on the emotional sense, you know, seeing her past and stuff. But our boy Century, I ain't gonna lie, when they was going through his head and they was fighting all the different levels, and he was like, I was on meth in this one, like that. Yo, they took this film to a different direction I was not expecting. And they definitely did a good job with that. And it's cool with the character Century, how whenever he comes back, he just loses his memory about what happened before. So I think that's pretty cool too. And he like slowly kind of remembers stuff. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool too. But another thing, they brought the Winter Soldier in. I ain't gonna lie, that fight with the Winter Soldier and Century, and I mean just the Thunderbolts against Century in general, like bro, that was a massacre right there. Like bro, Century wasn't even fighting, bro. Like this man knew he was indestructible. Like that was hilarious, man. That right there, just like dang, man. Like when Century, when he pulled up and he took on everybody, honestly, like real talk, it was the Red Guardian's fault, because like the Red Guardian, he was ready to throw hands. He was the one that started everything. He was the reason why he got everybody, you know, whooped, honestly. But yeah, the freaking Century went savage. And man, when I say Winter Soldier, bro, he got his ass whooped so bad. Like it was brutal. Like it was so messed up too. You know, cause I seen you know, freaking Winter Soldier, you know, he had lost his metal arm a couple times, but this was the most brutal. You know, Century just ripped it off and just threw it right back at him. Right? No, scratch that. Ripped it off, hit him in the face with it, then threw the arm back at him. That was hilarious right there. So yeah, like couldn't stand no chance. The dude was indestructible. Like, yeah, they ain't ready for that. And that was my biggest concern. I was like, how on earth are they gonna do all this, you know, without making Century look weak, you know? But yeah, they actually did a fantastic job. I ain't gonna lie. Again, just more Century would have been nice. Seeing him doing like more stuff, bigger stuff, compared to just taking on the Thunderbolts, which was cakewalk for him. But yeah, if they would have done more with that, would have been a walk in the park. But yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, it was still a enjoyable film, a mid film. I'm not gonna overhype it, but yeah, it was definitely mid. Like I said, I didn't like the fact how they knocked off Taskmaster that early, but knowing the character in the comics, that character does happen to keep coming back. So you may see Taskmaster come back again, and probably an angrier version if that one somehow survived or whatever. Possibly, I don't know. I mean, I doubt it, but Taskmaster is known for wearing different faces, so we could get another Taskmaster coming out the blue. Maybe, we'll see. But yeah, we'll see what happened with that. But looking around at everybody, one character I didn't mention was Ghost. Ghost was all right. She was all right. She had some moments, but yeah. And then John Walker. I honestly expected more from John Walker. I thought they was gonna do more with his character, but it's cool. I mean, it was decent though. It was definitely decent. But yeah, I had to go into it because there's a lot of YouTubers out there really overhyping this movie. But yeah, this is just my thoughts on the Thunderbolts. Like I said, it's a solid film, not an outstanding film, but I ain't gonna lie, it had its moments. This is definitely a step up, and it's definitely a very, very important film. Like, it's definitely a film that as a Marvel fan we definitely need, because now we got something that's gonna take Marvel to the next level, and that's our boy Sentry. So that's the main reason to go watch this film for Sentry. You know, because like he and also the new Avengers, but really, you know, Sentry really could take on anything himself, but but it definitely showed, he does need help controlling himself in a way, as well. So, you know, but honestly, he's very, very OP, and he can take out anything known to man. Other than a character like Blue Marvel, he can definitely go toe to toe with Blue Marvel for sure. Blue Marvel, I think, actually is stronger. I wish, bro, if Blue Marvel would have showed up in this film, that would have been so savage. But it's cool. But that's all I want to say, guys. It is your boy Al King. Let me know what you guys think of everything. But y'all have a good one.
I possess all your dreams. A demon preys on the